Hello, Steve Arts 89. I'm a huge horror fan, and I've always been a fan of Friday the 13th. And every year I watch all the Friday the 13th movies. Sorry, I'm thinking of Halloween, that's an annual thing. Every Friday the 13th, I watch all the Friday the 13th films on Friday the 13th. But the last 2 years, we've only had one Friday the 13th each year, which has been painful. So this year, I decided to have a Friday the 13th week, because normally I just do the weekend where I'll start after midnight on Thursday watching the films, do the first 5 or 6, then do the rest on the main night, and then start watching all the special features and interviews and documentaries and commentaries and all the things that sort of crop up over the year that I sort of have to put aside and wait till the next Friday the 13th. But this year, like I said, I just said, because there's all these fan films, I never had the time to watch them, because by the time I got through the movies and the special features and stuff, I didn't want to watch them. And they're varying quality, and I had a look and I realised there's a lot of them. I went through, I found well over 100, but this is just on YouTube too. But I looked through and some of them are really poor quality, and I decided not to watch them or not to rank them. So I'm going to review each one of the good ones and do a bit of a ranking and kind of try and help people get through the whole trying to sort through them problem that I had. So I'm going to do like a ranking and just like, these are the good ones, these are the okay ones, and these are the ones that I didn't even watch or didn't put on the list. So I've got 85. There's 13 that are versus ones, like Jason versus Freddy, Jason versus Pennywise, just sort of, they're like that. So they're in one category. And then the other category, I started playlists for both. The other one is just straight Jason fan films. There's 72 in them, so it's 85 altogether that I've found that I think are worth watching, and I sort of base that on the production, if it looked good, if it was shot well, if Jason looked good, if the actors could act, or if they were cute, if there was an interesting story or twist, because some of them, they're not very well shot, but they have something interesting, an interesting idea they had. Others, they're really beautiful, they look good, Jason looks perfect, looks like the makeup was done professionally, but the story or the acting is awful. So sometimes one element will be enough to sort of, save it. Other times not. There are a couple that I just had to say, no, this is bad, too bad. Even though the actors were good, the actors were cute, the makeup was good, the photography was good, the story or the actual shooting was so bad. There was one where just the shot in the conversations, it was like difference between day and night, sometimes literally, or just the sound, like one was like filmed in a storm, the other one was totally silent, and it's just too distracting. So some of them I just had to put down for that. Others, like I said, the acting was just woeful, or the story. There was one which they actually shot in Blairstown, and a couple of scenes looked amazing because the place was beautiful and they did a good job of shooting it, but the story and the acting and the makeup were just woeful. There was no tone, no atmosphere, it just was awful. So yeah, I had to say no. And just like there's a couple that had some really interesting, fun characters, but the rest of it was just woeful. So I was expecting to have a video basically in the first week of Friday the 13th about the films. And I don't really have one because I've yet to sit down. It took me this long just to find them all, work out which ones are awful, and then put them in lists. I did that the day before, and I started looking at some of them today and just working out the times. I'm going to watch all the short ones first, and that's how far I've gotten. So I just wanted to do a bit of a Friday the 13th fan films. There's a lot of them. There's over 100, 85 probably worth watching. I don't know how many are great. From what I've seen, it looks like there's about 5 or 6 that are really good, like the Never Hike Alone, and Never Hike in the Snow, and the Ghost Cut of the two together. That looks really good. There's a couple other ones like Jason Rising. There's only about 4 or 5 long productions that look like people put money and effort into them. Because some of them, I'm like, why are you doing this? I'm looking at it and I'm like, you don't have a good cast, you don't have good makeup, you don't have a clever idea. Okay, you're obviously making it for yourself, but who do you think's going to watch it? Like, you got to think of the audience. Is there an audience, and are they going to want to watch it? Are you giving them something worth watching? Otherwise, you're just doing it for yourself, in which case, just do a home video and show your friends, because you put it up on YouTube, it takes up space, people find it, they watch it, people are looking for stuff, find it, they're disappointed. You're really just wasting people's time if you're not doing a decent job of it. So I also just wanted to comment on just the fan films in general. I mean, some Star Trek fans do them, and that's partly because they have access to phasers and costumes, and there's a couple of bridge sets around America that people can use to shoot on, and they can do a decent film for very little money. So that kind of works. It's becoming its own little cottage industry in some ways. But other films, unless you have something to give the audience, please don't waste our time, because it took me forever to get through a lot of crap. Now, with the exception of a few kids who did videos that were very poor, they're kids, I can't say anything about that. But everyone else, just, if you can't do a good video, don't waste people's time. But this is my little video on the whole situation, and I soon will have a ranking, and then I'm going to review probably only the really good ones, because there's probably already looking at it being about 10. And I've done 4 interviews that were a little bit weak, so I want to make sure I'm just focusing on the good ones and letting people know what the good ones are. So if someone's looking, there's at least one video that can, give them some sort of idea. But I'm going to go. Bye.